Right, it's finished here. Dorking Wanderers just lost against Maidstone for the first time at Meadowbank in a league game. We're in a league game. 3-1 the final score. Marc, your thoughts on that this afternoon?
They were dual win, weren't they? Yeah, look, credit to Maidstone, firstly. The two lads that run it, they've worked really hard. To unlimited resources. Obviously, all you can do in that situation is get teams that run for you. But I've also thought their shape was great. I will just get the credit out there for them to start with, because I thought there was an awful lot about us that was just really poor. And I'm absolutely certain I've seen the game correctly. Our press was abysmal. We weren't pressing the way that we worked on all week.
Right.
So that's disappointing. That was causing Maidstone just to keep, chucking the same balls, and I don't blame them because we were man for man. And then we're asking, Josh Barrett and James McShane, obviously two number 10s by trade, playing number 8. They're playing number 8 for two reasons. One is we don't have any other midfielders. Two is we had a great result in midweek. So, you can only play boys like that in centre midfield if you contain the game.
Yeah.
And that was the plan. We thought we could contain them. And I think what I would say is, we did contain them. We did contain them for the first 15, 20. It was a little bit, I thought it was a little bit sort of sloppy in our press, but we had most of the ball, scored a goal, had a great chance from a dead ball to go 2-0 up. And then that continuation of just sloppy pressing. And then credit to Maidstone, because they're pressing, they're landing on second balls in centre midfield was way better. And the problem was, because we couldn't win a second ball in midfield, because our press was really poor and it was all linked, our defence were too deep. We couldn't get up the field because obviously there's, when they keep spinning it on you, you can only get so far up the field.
Yeah.
But just to be really clear, I mean, first of all, the goal's not over the line, I don't think.
Right.
But I still think, as innocuous as that was, I mean, there's absolutely no way on God's earth that he can be 100% certain it's over the line, because it's not. I've seen it back. But I don't want to discredit Maidstone by saying that, but it's just a fact of the game. But what they really had, Maidstone, was a very good, I'd say, very good sort of like maybe 35 minutes, and it abridged the break.
Okay, yeah.
I think we started well in the game. When we went to a back 4 second half, dominated the match. Maidstone will say they sat in and their shape was good. It was a good shape, but their structure was no different to when we had a back 3. So we've done the right thing. We created a lot of chances. Their distances were great. But yeah, the story of that game really is just very, very poor press and second balls in midfield. So that's the story of that game, James. Not good enough. Off the back of a great win midweek, off the back of 4 points away from home, nowhere near the standard we set. And just disappointed with very, very minority of fans already, like on the back of like me and all the team. I see comments about Jordan, and these fans are just not welcome.
I think I've seen something similar.
They're just not welcome, mate. They're just not welcome. I just think, as if our fans think we've got a divine right to win. You lose football matches, right? Get a grip. We've got an entire 7-8 players that are not quite where they want to be yet. Come next Saturday, Pinchard will be in the squad. Dan Pybers will be back fully fit. Harry Forster fully fit. We were really short today. Yes, we didn't play that well. yes, there was a big spell of the game where we had to be a lot better, but the supporters, if that's the right word, that jump on, it's just not Dorking, mate, and they need to support another club. They know they are, I see them, they need to go support another club. Because this club, you know, we're going to leave people like that behind eventually, and we're still in a massive building phase, and we've got an awful lot of boys, and it's so disrespectful, you know, with the work that goes in, you know, Harry Forster, Josh Taylor, Jimmy Newitt, Dan Gallagher, Dan Pipers, Harry Pinchard, George Frankham. You know, you've got like literally pretty much all the first choice players not kicking a ball yet. So where are your fans who see the good in things and go, do you know what, great win midweek, you know, not ideal today, and get behind the team. I never wanted this club ever.
No.
To be the type of club.
I know that you've said, obviously, it's about managing expectations, isn't it? And sometimes tempering those expectations as well. And there's no God-given right to win football matches at all.
I think we've got a few fans that drink too much and say too much. And, you know, we've never, you know, we're in a position where, like, we need our fans to understand where we are all the time. We need great fans, and luckily, like the majority of fans massively are great fans. That's the bottom line. So, but they're very disappointing, you know, when you do see stuff like that, when the facts of the matter are you're missing loads of your team, but even if you weren't, we just had a bad day. We just had a bad day.
It's a game of football, isn't it? A bad day. And also, Mark, do you feel that perhaps some of the personnel and the formation and the sort of shape at the end of the game was probably better than it had been at other parts of the game?
We simply went to a back four. You know, we simply went to a back four, and you know, it meant we had an extra man at the back, so you know, it meant we could contain the ball even more. It worked, obviously. We've dominated the last half an hour comfortably. Shame to concede. We conceded a really silly goal on the break and one that went over the line. But I think purely for their determination and their grit, you know, purely for that, they deserve the win. For their shape, determination and grit, Maidstone, and for how they how bad we were. You know, like that combination. Like, listen, we had a large spell of the game, but in respect of like how disappointing we were for long periods and their shape, you know, they can take the points today, and we'll have to bite down on the pillow, James. But we'll have to improve as well at the same time.
A week now, no game this week in the midweek, and then Walton and Hersham away, and then Monday Truro here. Just training through the week, I guess, and preparing for those two games pretty much back to back.
Yep, I mean there'll be some analysis of that, and you know the analysis is not going to be good for some of them. I'll make that very clear. Some of the new boys didn't do their jobs. They're at a club where they're going to have to watch that on Monday morning. That's the bottom line. So it's be a lot of analysis, a lot of accountability, and then get ready for two games. But yeah, disappointing. Listen, this game today could have gone anyway. The goals were a little bit innocuous, Maidstones, one putting it over the line, all the rest of it, and we was a little bit poor. But Maidstone done loads well. But we've done loads well. We finished the game wet sail, half an hour's worth of a wet sail. Could have been 3-3. You know, I'd just a footnote. You know, we've conceded 1 goal in 3 games. We've been good at the back. I think today the issue was the boys in front of it, including the wingers. Their press was wrong. That's the bottom line. So I'm waffling now.
It's okay.
Apologies for the defeat.
It'll get out.
That's where we are. We go again next week.
Okay, well have a good week, Mark, as always, and we'll see you at a new ground for a lot of us next Saturday at Walton and Hersham.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers, James.